Good Sunday morning. Um, I'm out here selling in a place called Alva, and it's getting pretty doggone hot. I just kicked down the AC a notch so it wouldn't be too loud in here, but it is pretty humid and hot. But anyway, I thought I'd do a quick story time. Uh, I think we're on episode 3, but this is pretty funny. This took place probably, I don't know, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. And it was in Maryland. So I met this guy through this young lady. I was her boss at an arts and crafts store, and she knew I liked to crab a lot, and her dad always went crabbing. So said, "Hey, why don't you hook up with my dad and go crabbing with him?" And I ended up meeting them. Um, I forget all their names now because it's been so long, but I'm going to tell you what we did. It was pretty funny, and we did this a few times. So um, he would take his buddy and his buddy's son out on their boat, and we always had a bet on who would catch more crabs. So we would go to this place called Crab Alley. Well, anyway, Crab Alley is very, very abundant with crabs. You go there like late July, August, beginning of September, and you're gonna have a field day catching all kinds of crabs. So what we would do is there's 3 ways you can crab. You can use a trot line as recreational crabbers like we were. I think the maximum length we could have was 500 feet, or maybe it was 500 feet lines. I forget whatever it was. We were within the legal limits, and then we were only allowed so many traps. I forget. I want to say it was like 5 traps per person. So we would do that, and then we'd also crab with the little hand lines that you have a weight on the bottom, and you have a piece of chicken on there, and as you bring it to the surface, you scoop it up. So this other guy and his son, they like to go fishing, so they'd always bring their fishing rod and reels. So picture an island here, and we would crab all around this area, and then up here, out going towards the bay, they would like to go fishing. So it was pretty funny. So I don't know if I can't remember. I don't remember if we ever bet for money or just bragging rights, or could have been, a little bit of alcohol for the adults or whatever. But so we would go pull our trot line, and we'd always do really good. I don't know, we'd pull 2 dozen or something per run, or maybe more. I don't even remember all the details, but we'd put them in our bushel basket, and you're allowed 2 full bushels at that time. I don't know what Maryland's regulations are now. So we knew where all their traps were, and I don't think we ever pulled or maybe we did pull their trout lines too, but I know they had a bunch of traps. So we would, when we knew they were going fishing, we pulled all their traps, and we were stealing all their crabs. And it was basically going to the same crab feast, but so then we would go hand lining and everything, and it was the funniest darn thing because we'd always hand line not too far from where their traps were set, because we knew they were going to come back around and check their traps, and so they'd come back at various points, and they're like, "How you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, pretty good. We're up to like a bushel now," or whatever it was, at the time. And we're like, "How you guys doing?" They're like, "We got six crabs or something." Like, "Oh man, what are you guys doing wrong?" And we kept playing dumb, and we did this. I don't know how many times they would do. Finally, we had our limit because we were stealing their crabs, which I guess technically would have been illegal, but since we were all friends, it was a joke amongst friends. And we didn't tell them till after we had done that on a couple trips and stuff like that. But so that was a little bit of humor seeing their face, because they were really baffled. They weren't having any luck fishing either, and they were barely catching any crabs. And we were, using the same bait, and we had all the crabs, and so it was pretty funny. So that's the end of that story time. I think that was episode 3. See you soon. Remember, always know your legal limits.